Okay, hi, I'm Madonna. Oh, no, I'm Amelie.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. We're so excited to be here today. We're here to talk about See It, Be It. And these two extraordinary women who are a part of the See It, Be It cohort this year. Pulp, you met, and Jessica, you met. And I've had the privilege of being the ambassador for See It, Be It for the last 7 years. So to begin, Pulp, can you tell us a little bit about where you're from and what you do?
Okay, I'm from Thailand, and right now I'm moved to Hong Kong for like almost 2 months. I'm working on a creative kind of thing in the creative agency. As you see, the publicist group. Yes, that's what I did. And yeah.
Perfect, thank you. And Jessica?
I'm Jessica. I'm originally from the US, but moved from New York to Amsterdam almost 9 years ago. And
Wow.
I left to work for myself in the taboo space as both a creative director and a cartoonist.
Wonderful, thank you. So this year, the See It, Be It program, we have 19 different women from literally around the world. We had 1,400 different applications, so 1,400 women applied, and 19 of the fabulous women are here today. So, Jessica, can you tell us, what is it about the See It, Be It program that you thought was important, and why did you want to become a part of it?
Yeah. I think for me, in addition to mentorship, which is so incredibly important in having sponsors, there's nothing like the community that you build around yourself. And I thought if I was able to build a community of not just women, but women who are doing incredibly inspiring and amazing things, and have them support one another to amplify our voices, and that when you are, this industry is brutal, and there's a lot of times when you doubt yourself, and you have to be delusional. When you have an idea, you have to be so delusional that you are going to see it through. And in the moments that you don't have that spark, it's really important to have people around you that will help lift you up. And so I'm so honored to be a part of it.
So part of the community.
Yes.
That's
yeah.
exciting. And Pulp, what about you? You're from Thailand. You work at
Yes.
Publicis, creative director. What was it about See It, Be It that you felt like was important for you?
To me, I have to lead the young creatives. And I think in order to do that, I have to change myself first, in order to change a little bit about the world that we are living in this community. So that would be the good thing to learn here, explore here, and sharing the story, and I give and take from the people in the group of the women that I met yesterday and in the next 5 days.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Jessica, your work is so interesting. You don't fit into any exact mold, right? You have been an agency person, but now you've really taken a whole new journey. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I originally came from the agency world, and I moved without a job after a heartbreak to the Netherlands, and I thought I'd find a job really easy. And my vision was still an agency life, and I convinced this group of 17 university students to let me live in their small illegal room, because I'd be there for like a month or two. But my journey lasted a year and a half in unemployment, and I started to feel really embarrassed about my situation and a lot of shame over both the job search and the heartbreak. And I decided I could either sit in that shame or I could do something creative about it. And so I decided from that moment to turn my embarrassment into empowerment, and drawing about my experience with humor, about all the things that are taboo, from mental health to sexuality, relationships, to help me feel more empowered in my own story. And that grew and grew, and the voices that shared back with me grew. And that's kind of how I started finding my way in this space, to talk about the things that nobody talks about, because it's so important, and it helps normalize all of us, and lifts each other up and helps us find our voices.
Can you, I love that story. A year and a half of unemployment is no joke. Can you talk a little bit about the turning point in terms of your cartoons and subject matter, et cetera, where things really started to change?
change for my life or change in, yeah.
Well, in terms of your fame, in terms of people taking notice and finding your voice.
I have to say it picked up quite quickly. And what I noticed is that people really started to relate to the relationships and also a lot about sexuality. And as I became more and more interested in sexuality, communication, psychology myself, it became very clear that none of us were taught how to communicate in the bedroom, in the boardroom, in any aspect of life. And I want to help people feel empowered, especially women, in having these conversations, in communicating our needs, in being authentic, and not being embarrassed that we're on our period, that we're going through menopause, there's so much in life that we hide, and we bring ourselves to work, and we bring ourselves everywhere we go. And if I can help empower people to feel confident in expressing themselves and to find their voice, and to help women and do it in a way where men laugh and get it and like they're part of it. I use a lot of humor because we need allies. And I've lost a little bit of my train of thought, but I believe it was a strong point, so I'm going to leave it there.
Can you? Yes, definitely. Well, my favorite cartoon is the King and Queen. Can you give us a little bit of a description of that?
Every year in the Netherlands, we have King's Day, which is the Dutch national holiday. And it's a holiday where there's a lot of flirting, drinking, and for many, the hope of getting laid. But with inequalities like the orgasm gap, which is about a 30% difference between men and women reliably orgasming, our queens were getting royally screwed. And I was not going to let that happen. So I drew a cartoon of the king going down on the queen, and it says, "A true king knows who comes first." And I wild posted it throughout the entire city of Amsterdam with stickers everywhere, giant life-size posters, and I put it together within a few weeks. And I think for me, it was really scary. I was like, am I going to get in trouble? It's the king and queen, and it's sex, and it's so public. But I also knew it was a good idea, and I knew that people were going to see it, and it would make people feel something, and it would start conversations, and it wouldn't just start conversations amongst people with a vulva, but it would start a conversation with everyone, and that was super important to me. And especially with Instagram censorship in the taboo space, if you're getting censored, do something else then. Bring your stuff to the world, bring your stuff to the work, find work, bring your stuff to the streets. Don't let things or challenges be a barrier to getting your message out there and starting the important conversations that we need to have.
Absolutely. Yay. And where can people see that cartoon if they want to see it?
I'm on Instagram at Vanilla Cool Dance, and and I also, what's really exciting to me now is that I do this, of course, through my own business and through my own cartoons, but I also am there to support, in my creative roles, brands and agencies and nonprofits and just other change makers that want to bring the voices that need to be heard and bring the subjects that need to be spoken about, at the forefront.
Great. Vanilla Cool Dance. Thank you. And so, Paul, your work is so extraordinary. I love it.
Oh, thank you.
I think that you have such a unique viewpoint that you bring. Can you talk a little bit about the Pantene work that you did and how that has become really so much about who you are as a creative?
Okay, so the Pantene See Beauty Not Gender is very good exercise for me because that project is got me realized that I keep sneaking, planting some seed into this world. So after I got work with the or LGBT community, it's quite open my mind a bit. Because of my background is I'm from the family in Thailand, so really Thai traditional family, but it's a diverse family that in 3 generations, like now and then before and after me, there were lesbian and gay in my family, but no one doesn't want to talk about it. but they keep supporting in some way somehow. So I thought that it's good that I have those background that I can work with my project. And I'm so lucky that I'm surrounded by a male and female and LGBT colleagues as well. My team, also my producer at the time, and so my filmmaking at the filmmaker at the time. So it's like open my mind a bit that we thought about that they want something extra, but the thing is they're not. They just want to live a normal life. It's so simple that. So that gives me like a sparking to, in order to do the next project for Downey when I'm with Leopold Thailand. So the thing is, I want people to shift the mindset about the whole commercial. When you see most of commercial, you see female and male get to know each other in the cafe. They kind of flirt at each other. But I feel like if I can change a bit of that, so I changed the protagonist, who is a woman, into the LGBT in order to sell the fabric enhancer. So would it be possible to do that? So I keep planning to do that thing. And I mean, like all the works that they, from Pantene until the Downy now, it's not getting any chance or any award, but I mean, when you get to read the comment or the feedback in the YouTube kind of thing, it's like you give some kind of sense that, oh, this commercial is a bit to understand the world pretty much well. So it's like the community knows it. So it's like keep me to keep doing this thing in forward. Yeah.
Yes, it's great work. It's great work.
Thank
I love
you.
that work. And I love that the insight for you from a creative standpoint was so dead simple, which is that everybody just wants to have their lives, and they don't need extra bells and whistles. They just want to be treated with respect.
Yes.
And it's so huge having both of you as a part of See It, Be It, and bringing those insights and mindsets, obviously so important, I think, going through. So, Paul, my last question to you is going to be about grit. It takes a lot of grit to go against the system.
Exactly.
It takes a lot of grit to be one of 1,400 women that, applies and then gets accepted and then actually comes to Cannes. I mean, it's a huge, huge endeavor for any one of us. Where do you think your grit comes from?
I think it's from my instinct, basically. So I think I have to trust my instinct first in order to keep push myself in conquer something. So that's a thought that I came in every morning. I think that I have to shape mindset before I go to work, even though the work is not in a good track. I will find something. So I trust my instinct to do most of the thing. And I'm so lucky that, as I said earlier, I surrounded by the female woman here who is supporting me. Let's say Anna. Anna, she's trying to encourage me to apply for the CB program. I'm not sure is she here or not. Okay. So she's the one to encourage me to do the thing because at the time I was like, I have a mental health problem before. I got a panic attack because from the work and everything, and then it's suddenly like I'm so down, and then I think that opportunity will come in. So I start thinking that, okay, I'm gonna make something. I have to change myself. I cannot do this anymore. I mean, maybe I have to quit the job in order to do anything. But I mean, I have to be like, do something to keep my grit going.
And you have. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And Jessica, what about you? Where do you think your grit comes from to pick up, leave, be unemployed, start making, royal cartoons that makes fun of royalty? I mean, where does this come from?
I think that my grit comes from when I'm most aligned with myself. If I know what I really want, if I know I'm going to move to Europe, it's going to happen. It may not happen today, it may take 2 years, but it's going to happen. If I know that I want to shatter stigmas, even though a lot of people don't know what the fuck I'm talking about or why it's, it will happen. The right people will find me at the right time. And I think that it's not perseverance for the sake of perseverance. And I think when I was younger, I used to see people, and I wanted success, but I never thought, what does that mean to me? Nobody, you see the leader and you want to follow the track, and so it's hard to stay resilient in that space. I think I recommend to everyone to connect with what they really want, and if you have that in mind, and if you have your purpose, and hopefully it's a purpose that will lead to a greater society and to a greater industry, that you don't stop fighting until you get there, and you have to pivot, and you have to be flexible, and I think that's how I get my grit. And I think you learn the most from your failures, so fail fast and hard.
Exactly, exactly. All right, well, thank you guys so much. This has been a great talk, and I've loved getting to know you guys so far. Can't wait for the end of the week to come, and we'll have even more stories.
Yeah,
So thank you.
Mother.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you so much.